more on the crisis at the southern border. Let's bring in Will Hurd. He's a former Republican congressman from Texas and a former CIA officer. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. I have to tell you, as we just watched Joe's package and you see all the bickering in the congressional committee about the border, it's frustrating, and you look at that kind of bickering and you think nothing's ever going to get done.
Well, thanks for getting my blood pressure up, because this is one of the more difficult issues I dealt with when I was in Congress. The district I represented had 820 miles of the border. It took 10.5 hours to drive across the district at 80 miles an hour, which was the speed limit in a lot of the district. Unfortunately, I found out the hard way, it's not the speed limit in all of the district. And border security was important. I had to think about 20 land ports that come in. And unfortunately, what most people don't get about the current crisis, this began under the last administration, because the last administration and the Biden administration is continuing a flawed practice of treating everybody like an asylum seeker. Right? Like to get asylum, it's a very specific rules and regulations. You have to be part of a protected class. Your government has to be persecuting you because you're part of that protected class. And unfortunately, trying to come to the United States of America just to get a better job is not a reason for asylum. And so because it's being abused, people that really need it are getting screwed. And then as you showed in that video that the head of Border Patrol showed, these human smugglers are taking advantage of people. They're making tons of dough. Last year, about 2.5 million people came in the country illegally. The average, let's call it the average smuggler gets about $10,000 per person. That's $25 billion that human smugglers made. And they're making the problem worse.
Yeah, but you were a member of Congress, a longtime member, a leading member of Congress with enormous credibility on this issue. Congress has not passed any meaningful reform or any legislation on immigration reform in nearly 2 decades. Why not? And when you watch what we just showed today, it's like it looks impossible.
So the reason why not, and look, I got close. Me and Pete Aguilar. Pete Aguilar is a Democrat from California, and a number of other members, by the way, that created a thing called the USA Act. And we came 2 votes shy from something that would have gotten to the floor and likely passed. And at the time of us whipping the vote on the Senate side, we had about 57 senators, and we think we could have gotten the other 3. Why can nothing get done in Congress on this? Because unfortunately, Republicans and Democrats would rather use this issue as a political bludgeon and hit each other over the head with it rather than solve the problem. And that's the unfortunate issue on this particular topic. But the current crisis that we're seeing at our southern border is something that the administration can address many of the problems and challenges that are making this the worst border security crisis in the history of the United States. Yes, streamlining legal immigration is something that Congress should pass. It's 2023. We should be able to determine, hey, Texas needs this kind of worker, Florida needs this kind, California needs a different one, and we should be able to do that month to month and have that based on real need and issue those worker visas. Oh, and when people come here legally, what are they doing? They're paying taxes. They're paying fees to get that visa. Those are all things that ultimately can help the budget problem that we're in. So that is something that absolutely Congress needs to move on and hasn't. And unfortunately, even when you have a unified government where one party controls House, Senate, and the White House, they weren't able to pass many of these things. And you can ask President Obama that question, and you can ask President Trump the same thing. They were never able to pass any kind of meaningful
and President Biden, first day of his administration, he had, things that he wanted. No president can get it done, and no Congress can get it passed. One last question. You have said that anybody running for president needs to decide if they're going to do so by Memorial Day. Does that include you? Or I know you've said before you're thinking about it. Have you reached a decision?
Sure. One of the things that I said is a decision on what my future is going to look like is going to happen soon. That still applies. I've been lucky to serve my country in a number of different ways, and if there's an opportunity, I'll evaluate that. And unfortunately, my concern is that we have about 4 years to get our act together as a country, or we're going to get surpassed by the Chinese government. They're trying to surpass us as a global superpower, and we need to be changing the kinds of things that we're doing. And as a Republican, I want to start winning again. I'm tired of losing. And unfortunately, over the last many cycles, we've been losing because we're putting up the wrong candidates.
Yeah, China is laser focused on undermining the United States. Congressman Will Hurd, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Absolutely, and they have a 20-year plan.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.